Yo, yo, yo. Welcome back to the channel. Updating on AMC. Today was green day. Only barely green. Barely over break even at 0.04%. But I was looking at the chart. I'm just poking around trying to find some things that maybe I haven't talked about yet. Some different angles to look at a few of the indicators that we use frequently. Maybe not indicators, but trend lines or different Wyckoff analysis, et cetera, et cetera. And I found this trend line, which I think is pretty interesting. So this one has touch points from all the way back in March of 2020. So you can see that this was before the COVID collapse. You have this dive down here. You find support on it for a brief period of time, just a couple days before you get sent down. And this is kind of like, it was like a key rejection point essentially, right? So you hit it, you tried to find support, and then you got rejected down by it. Then you can see here that you got rejected down by it again. You break out of it here in April 2020 before you break down, and then you come back to test it again, and then you get shot down again before you eventually find it a support. So you can see here it was briefly found a support. And then once this line was broken is when this big send down happened again in July of 2020. You see the same sort of feature here in September of 2020, where when this, you had another basic bull trap scenario, and you can even see here that this wick on this hammer comes down, touches it, and then goes back up. Once you broke below it, you can see it almost like once you flip the line, you get sent down here, right? Well, after the buy button collapse, you have a similar thing where you come back, you retest this area, come back and retest before you get sent down. You get a bull trap here, get sent down before you break and find it as support. You get sent down again in April of 2021. And then ultimately, once you broke through this with some conviction, you came back, retested it, and then this is what caused the run-up in June. I'm not saying it caused the run-up. You get what I'm saying. Like, technically, this was the last point of support, you might say, before you jumped up for your June run-up. So I just thought it was an interesting line because now, using this trend line, you actually have a touch point here whenever we ran down on December 14th. And then you rolled over here, and you can see here that it's been broken a couple times with wicks, but it's always held above it. And today we actually held above it again. So it's an interesting trend line to be watching. Definitely. If you want to draw it on your chart, I'd say probably the best way is just to draw from the bottom of this candle from today, and then connect it to the bottom of the candle on December 14th, and then extend the lines left and right. You can do that by clicking, hitting your settings, and then extending the line left and right. Now, obviously, am I saying that this trend line is the end-all be-all? Obviously not. There are a bunch of different trend lines that you can draw. We have other trend lines that we've been watching as well. This is just an interesting one that I found, and it's almost like a median trend line, right? So it's like it's something like, I've drawn it on Bitcoin before. I'll show you an example. I know Ethereum had a good one too. That was working for a while. I don't know if it still works, but it probably does because Ethereum is still really high. Ignore everything else on the chart. I think that the way that I had drawn it before was something like this. And the reason that you want to have a line like this, hold on, delete that so it's easier to see. So the reason that you want to have a line like this is because this line has essentially, you can see that for Bitcoin, ooh, look at this. But for Bitcoin, you can see that whenever it's above this line, it's almost like it's in just a bull run essentially, and when it's below the line, it's like a bear cycle, right? So it's more of an accumulative period whenever it's above or below this line. Is really interesting because I didn't even think about that. This is an old line. Like I drew this a long time ago, but I just like redrew it. Let's see, we draw it more perfectly on this bottom here. Yeah, I mean, you can see here that that Bitcoin actually bounced right off of it. I wonder what that says about Bitcoin right now. But yeah, so that was just a different concept for us to be looking at, just a different way to look at the chart. I'm sure that the line could be drawn more perfectly, but I just thought that I would share this as something that I'm watching in the short term. So I think that you're really at a key decision point for AMC here, where and that's why it feels like there is indecision right now from a price action standpoint, right? You're like, you keep on trading sideways, you keep on going sideways whenever you're at this line, and the reason is because this is probably a key line within algorithms, most likely. So bulls and bears are treating it as a pretty big battle zone because of all this history that's associated with this line. So yeah, I'll probably post another video. I just wanted to make this one right quick as just like a trend line that I'm watching, just this key trend line, an example of it working in another chart. So hopefully you enjoyed that. I'll probably post some other videos, so make sure you subscribe and you turn your post notifications on. That's the best way to make sure that you see all my content whenever it comes out, so make sure you do that, and until next time.